So today's lesson is going to focus on the radius and diameter of circles and how to go from one to the other and vice versa. And so by the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify parts of a circle and calculate the radius and diameter. To begin, we have a warm-up focusing on perimeter and area. And what I need to do is to solve the perimeter area for these two problems. And remember to keep this information in mind since it's going to come in helpful later on in this unit. So pause the video, complete these two problems, then come back and check your answers. So when we think about perimeter is how far around the outside of a shape. Okay, so we know the first side was 4 inches, the bottom is 7. The other side would also be 4 since they're the same. And the top would be another 7 inches. So to find our perimeter, we would add those up. 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4. And when you do that, you get 22 inches around the outside. Now for area, they give us a formula, and it's length times width. If I call this our length and the 7 our width, we're going to do 4 times 7, which gives me 28. Now when you label areas, it's square inches, so we have inches squared because we could divide this up into squares, and we would actually have 28 of them if we did it correctly. And so we have our perimeter and area for the rectangle. For our triangle, it works the same way. Perimeter is how far around the outside edge. So we would do 12 plus 5 plus 13. Add up all those sides. And when we add them together, we end up getting 30, and our label is centimeters. Now when we think of our area, it's a little different because it's not a full rectangle. It's only half of our rectangle, and so that's why we have to divide by 2. We still take length times width, or base times height, but now we have to divide it by 2 to get our answer, and when we do so, we actually end up with 30 again, and it's going to be centimeters squared. So keep this information in mind so that you can come back to it later in this unit. And now we're going to get started on circles. To start, we have some vocabulary. We have the different parts of a circle. Center is the easiest. Center is the center point of our circle. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. It's the very middle. Diameter is from one edge through the center to the other edge. It could go in any direction. So this is a diameter. You could have it going in a different way, but it's across the circle and through the center. And then radius, notice it's just halfway. It's from the edge to the center. It can also go in any direction. It just goes halfway across. So it's from the center to any point on the circle. So this goes all the way across for diameter, while radius only goes half the way across. Okay, so keep that difference in mind as we get started today. Looking at this first example, if I look at this picture, I'm given something from the center out to the edge of my circle. It goes half the way. And I know that's a radius. My radius is 3 centimeters. Now diameter, if I would draw it in, should go all the way across my circle. I know that from the edge to the center it's 3, so this other edge to center would also be 3. So my diameter is a total of 6 centimeters. And we can actually think of a formula for this. If we take our radius and we double it, or times it by 2, we end up with our diameter. This is a helpful equation as we move forward. Now, here's our next example. It's a little different. We're given the full distance from edge to edge through the center. That is a diameter. So my diameter is 92 meters. However, I want to figure out what just half of that is, or what just my radius is. Notice it's half. So I have to take my 92 meters across, and I want to divide it by 2 because I only need half of that. When I do so, I get 46 meters. And that actually is my equation for diameter to radius. If I start with my diameter and I cut it in half or divide it by 2, then I get my radius. Here's 2 problems for you to try on your own. Please pause the video, complete the problems, then come back and check your answers. So, looking at this first example, our line goes all the way across, so it is a diameter. I am given the diameter is 36 inches. To find my radius, which is just halfway, I have to take 36 and divide it by 2. And in doing so, I get 18 inches. In the next problem, I'm given just half the thing across the circle, so it's a radius. Then my radius is 19 feet. And to find my diameter, which would go all the way across, I need to take my radius and multiply it by 2, and I get a diameter of 38 feet. And next we have some story problems. With story problems, I like to read them one sentence at a time and draw a picture as I read. So I went to a hotel that has a large circular swimming pool. Well, I'm going to draw a large circular swimming pool. Perfect. It's kind of circular. Now, the center of the pool is 30 feet from the edge. So I know my radius is 30. Now it asks how many total feet would I swim if I swim the entire way across the pool and back. So if we think about this, our radius is 30 feet. If I go all the way across the pool, I know that's actually a diameter. So if I take 30 times 2, I get my diameter. Across the pool is 60 feet. But I have to swim all the way back as well. So if I go 60 feet there and 60 feet back, all in all, I would swim 120 feet. And that's my answer. Now here's one I would like you to try on your own. Remember to draw your picture, think about what it's asking you, and solve the problem. So pause the video, do so, and then come back and check your work. So it says the radius of a snare drum is 16 centimeters. So I'm going to draw my circle for my drum. And my radius, so halfway across, is 16 centimeters. How long are the drumsticks if they're the length of the diameter? So really I need to figure out how big is my diameter. If radius is 16 centimeters, my diameter is going to be 16 times 2, which is 32 centimeters, which would also be the length of my drumsticks. And that is all.